students, today we discuss about the topic mineral that comes under the BVMT 403 and in biochemistry metabolism. Actually, mineral is a very important topic because body require minerals for major activities. Means when their translation will be takes place means from RNA to formation of DNA protein. That time majority of minerals will be required like magnesium, iron, this, and for the formation of amino acids sulfur is also required. So in our body majority of mineral will be required either in high amount or either in trace amount. So in this video we study which mineral we require in major amount and which mineral we require in trace amount, and what are the function of that mineral, and what are the, if deficiency will be occur in our body, then what disease will be occur. So this all we discuss in this video. So first, what are the key concept of the mineral? A mixed diet of very colorful food with adequate energy value is the base source of the mineral necessary for health. Means a food having a colorful like yellow or green vegetables, that food will contain lots amount of a mineral, and mineral is a necessary things for a good health. So that every transportation or metabolic reaction like that will be takes place in our body, so that there is no deficiency will occur and no disease will be occur in our body. So that mineral will be a necessary things for our health. Of the total amount of mineral a person consume, only a relatively limited amount is available to the body, and that what are the building block of the life. You already know in lower classes you study that what is the building block of life. That is a four element that are hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and oxygen. Our life will made from only a majority of these four elements, that is hydrogen, carbon, nitrogen and oxygen. So main function of the mineral are building tissue, the formation of tissue. During the formation of bone, which mineral you require? Calcium, right? Calcium ion is the major element and mineral that required for in the formation of bones. So if there is deficiency in calcium ion, then there is start of pain in a back pain or in bone pain, because they require calcium ion, but our body have not there deficiency of that calcium ion. That's why osteoporosis will be occur. A deficiency, that is osteoporosis, means there is breakdown of the bone. Next function, activating, regulating, transmitting and controlling metabolic process. There are several metabolic processes occur in our body that require mineral as a cofactor. Without that mineral, that metabolic process will not proceed if that mineral will be not present. Means in ATP formation, magnesium ion will be required. In some metabolic reaction, manganese ion will be required, cobalt ion will be required. So there are lots of mineral that required for the metabolic process. So it is the activation, regulating and transmitting and controlling metabolic process. These are a process. Next, the nature of the body mineral. What are the nature of the body mineral? I already told you that there are two types of mineral. Means a mineral is required more in amount, or that mineral is known as major element minerals, and the mineral that required less in amount, that is known as trace elements. Okay, so this will be major element or trace element. This will be classified according to their concentration. If if concentration of mineral present more than 100 mg per day, that mineral is known as major minerals. If a mineral consumed in our body per day 100 mg or more than 100 mg, that mineral is known as major minerals. And a mineral that consumed in our body less than 100 mg per day, that is known as trace element. So these are the classification according to their consumption, concentration of their consumption. Trace element and major element. Mineral metabolism. How the metabolic reaction will be takes place of mineral. Actually, mineral are not digested. When we take a food and that food contain a mineral, then that mineral will not digest it because there is no enzyme that digests the mineral. Or the mineral is actually itself a simpler compound, so that it's not break down. So there is no that mineral do not require much digestion. Next, absorption. Absorption rate determined by food form. Which form of food we take, according to that mineral will be absorbed and body need, tissue health, right? Next is transport. How the mineral will be transport from one tissue to another tissue. They transfer through a portal circulation or bound to protein. Tissue uptake. They control by hormones. If there are excess in amount, if mineral are present in excess amount, then that mineral are excreted from the body through urine. What are the major minerals? Major minerals contain calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium and sulfur. These all mineral are the major type of mineral. Means calcium, phosphorus, sodium, potassium, chloride, magnesium and sulfur. So one by one we study about all these minerals. So first, calcium. What are the function of the calcium and how we get the calcium from food? Which food contain high amount of calcium? So the major function of the calcium are in bone and tooth formation. What? Already I told you that the bone are formed by a calcium with the help of calcium mineral. So the major function of the calcium is in bone and tooth formation. And they also help in blood clotting, muscle contraction and nerves action. During the nerve action and muscle contraction, they act as a cofactor. Calcium ion act as a cofactor, but in bone and tooth formation, they act as a major elements in bone and tooth formation, because bone and tooth are majority are made up of calcium ion. So metabolic reaction help with absorption of B12, vitamin B12. Calcium help in metabolic reaction that help in the absorption of vitamin B12. And activation of pancreatic lipase. Activation of pancreatic lipase that help in the process of digestion. Secretion of insulin that help in the absorption of glucose from blood. Cell membrane permeability. These are the metabolic reactions. What? These are the metabolic reactions that performed by the calcium ion. That perform with the help of the calcium ion, not by calcium ion, with the help of calcium ion. And what are the concentration that we require per day? The concentration of calcium ion is 1000 mg per day. What? 1000 mg per day. And if their deficiency will be occurred, then a disease cause that is known as osteoporosis. Means there is a breakdown or degradation of the bone cells. And toxicity, hypercalcemia. If we increase the concentration from this, then toxicity will be formed in our body, and that toxicity will known as hypercalcemia. Next is what are the food source from where we get this calcium ion. The major food source is milk. Milk is the major food source, and green vegetables like broccoli, spinach. These are the green vegetables which contain calcium ion. Fish with bone like is sardines and fortified food. This having a when we eat this type of food, then you get naturally you get calcium ion. These are the diagram picture of osteoporosis. How there is degradation of the bone tissue will be takes place. See here, this is the degradation of the bone where there is deficiency in the calcium ion. See this happened, right? This is the osteoporosis. Next mineral that is phosphorus. Phosphorus also help in the bone and tooth formation, but major mineral that help in bone and tooth formation are the calcium ion. And energy metabolism of phosphorus are the oxidation of carbohydrate. They help in oxidation of carbohydrate, fats and protein, energy and protein metabolism, cell function and genetic inheritance, because the DNA, right, DNA or RNA contain phosphorus as a backbone, right? So phosphorus help in energy metabolism, that cell function and genetic inheritance. They help in transfer of character or DNA during the parents to offspring. Components of enzyme. Phosphorus are the major components of enzyme. Thiamine, DNA, RNA contain phosphorus as a backbone, right? And they also help in acid-base balance. And the requirement of the phosphorus, the concentration of the phosphorus that required per day are 700 mg per day. What? 700 mg per day. If deficiency will be occur in the phosphorus, that deficiency is known as hypophosphatemia. And toxicity if the concentration of the phosphorus will be increased, that is no symptom of hypocalcemia. What? Hypocalcemia. And food source from where you get the phosphorus are all living tissue, especially meat. Meat contain majority of phosphorus. Milk product, fish, egg, plant seeds contain phosphorus. So this all about the phosphorus. Now sodium. Sodium, already you know where sodium get from in salt. We eat that salt that contains sodium chloride. So then we get sodium from that salt. What are the function of the sodium? The major function of the sodium is in water balance, muscle action. Sodium will be act as a cofactor in muscle action, nutrient absorption. If deficiency will be occur, then unless excessive sweating or water intake will be present, that will represent there is deficiency in sodium in our body. So the major function of the sodium is water balance, muscle action and nutrient absorption. Requirement of sodium are 1.5 gram per day and 2.3 gram per day. Average number no more than 2 gram per day. Average number no more than 2 gram per day. Toxicity symptom, salt sensitivity and hypertension. If you get more amount of sodium then hypertension or there and BP will be increased, blood pressure will be increased. These are the symptoms of the high concentration of the sodium. If you take high concentration of sodium in food. And what are the sources of the sodium? That are major source are table salt that you add in your food. Table salt, because that contains sodium chloride. Cured meat, canned soup, processed food, vegetables like carrot, leafy greens and celery. ये सब this all are a food source. Okay. Next is potassium. So potassium requirement of potassium per day according to concentration are 4.7 gram per day, and function, they also help in water balance and the metabolic reaction that in which they act as cofactor are conversion of blood glucose to glycogen. They help in the conversion of blood glucose to glycogen, storage of nitrogen in muscle protein. They help in the storage of nitrogen in muscle protein, production of energy. This production of energy is the major source of potassium, right? Because ATP, you know ATP? ATP, GTP, these all are made up of the potassium, triphosphate. So they help in production of energy, muscle action, cardiac contraction, insulin release, and blood pressure. If there is increase in potassium, intracellular ions, and decreasing sodium, extracellular ion, then they affect in the blood pressure. If deficiency will be occur, then American diet is low. Eat your vegetables. If low, muscle weakness and cardiac irregularity will be shown. If the concentration of potassium will be low, then there is weakness in the muscle. We feel that we are weak. Means there is low in concentration of potassium. Toxicity with renal disease, excessive intake. Food sources that contain potassium ion are orange, bananas, tomato, leafy greens, vegetables, whole grain, fresh meat, milk product. Means leafy green vegetables contain all type of minerals. If you eat leafy green vegetables in your daily life, then there is no deficiency of any type of mineral will be takes place, because they contain all type of mineral. Next is chloride. Chloride help in water balance. It's just like a sodium. The source of the chloride is also same. That is table salts. Acid-base chloride help in acid-base balance, digestion, key element in hydrochloric acid secretion, and in respiration play a role in transport of carbon dioxide in the blood. The role of respiration of chloride is in the transportation of carbon dioxides in the blood, and the source of the chloride is the table salt that contains sodium chloride. So table salt is the source of two type of mineral. First is sodium and next one is chloride. And requirement of chloride is per day 2.3 gram per day. And if deficiency will be occur, then through vomiting will be occur, and toxicity symptom from severe dehydration. And food source is table salts. Now magnesium ion. Magnesium ion function general metabolism, necessary catalyst for 300 plus reaction in cells. 300 plus reaction in cells. So magnesium ion are very important ion because they also act as cofactor. Magnesium ion also act as cofactor. They act as cofactor during the protein synthesis or during the maintenance of DNA. So magnesium ion act as cofactor in several metabolic reactions. When you study the process of the transcription, translation, or in the maintenance of DNA or repairing of DNA, then you see that the magnesium and act as cofactor at a various steps. So it's very important element for our body. Protein synthesis activate amino acids, role in synthesis and maintenance of the DNA. So magnesium and act as cofactor in this process. Muscle action, cardiac contractility and used in preventing premature labor. They are used in preventing premature labor. That's why you use magnesium ion in pregnancy, so that the premature labor will be reduced or prevent from premature labor. Basal metabolic rate influence secretion of thyroxine. Requirement 300 to 400 mg per day. Requirement of magnesium ion are 300 to 400 mg per day. Deficiency states hypomagnesemia, rare weight, balanced diet, toxicity symptom, excessive supplements may produce gastrointestinal symptoms and toxicity with renal disease. Food source, nuts, soya bean, coca, seafoods, dried beans, tea, green vegetable, whole grain. These are the food source of the magnesium ion. What? Nuts, soya bean, coca, seafoods, dried beans and pea, green vegetables, whole grain. Right? Sulfur. Let's see sulfur. Sulfur function are in hair, skin and nail formation. Hair, skin and because keratin are made up of sulfur. That's why they are present in hair, skin and nails. Right? General metabolic function, high energy burn, transfer energy. Sulfur is also a cofactor during the formation of vitamin structure, amino acids. Sulfur are present in that. And amino acids like methionine, they contain sulfur ion. Vitamin structure, they also contain a sulfur ion. So for the formation of the vitamins and for the formation of the amino acid structure, this sulfur mineral will be required. And during the formation of collagen structure, sulfur is also needed. And food source that contain sulfur ion are meat, nuts, soya, fish, cheese, egg. These are the source from where you get sulfur ion. Key concept of the major minerals are a mixed diet of varied food and adequate energy value is the best source of minerals necessary for health. Of the total amount of mineral a person consumes, only a relatively limited amount is bioavailable to the body. Means when you eat or consume total amount of mineral, then only relatively limited amount is bioavailable to the body. Only limited amount. So you have to eat various like green vegetables, milk items, you have to eat in daily life so that the deficiency of mineral will be less in your body. Trace elements. These are the trace elements that are required in our body in less amount or less than 100 mg per day. And these minerals are iron, iodine, zinc, selenium, fluoride, copper, manganese, chromium, molybdenum, cobalt, boron, vanadium, nickel. Now we study every element single once by once. Okay. So first iron. Already you know what are the major function of iron. Iron help in this synthesis of hemoglobin and general metabolism. So iron is the major element in the synthesis of hemoglobin, that blood is made up of hemoglobin and in oxygen carrying capacity, right? If deficiency of iron will be takes place, then that term is known as anemia. Means there is the amount of blood or hemoglobin will be low, because if iron are not present in the body, then what happened? Then there is no formation of hemoglobin will be takes place, and that term is known as anemia. Requirement 8 to 11 mg per day for males and 8 to 18 mg per day for females, because in female the concentration of iron will be more, because due to the menstruation cycles that occur every month. That's why the concentration of iron in female is more as compared to male. Next, if there is the concentration of iron will be low or high in the body, then toxicity will be present, and that is known as hemochromatosis. What? Hemochromatosis. These are the toxicity when the concentration of iron will be more in the body. And the source of food, from where you get the iron, that is rapid absorption food source. In rapid absorption means 40% animal food, 40% animal food, and non-heme slow absorption, that is 60% animal and all plants, 60% animal and all plants having the iron. So increase absorption with vitamin C. When you take vitamin C with the help, when we get or absorb vitamin C, then the concentration of iron absorption will be high. So when you take animal and all plant source as a iron, then you also take vitamin C. Next is iodine. Iodine function, participation in thyroid gland synthesis. If there is deficiency in iodine, then a disease will occur, that is known as goiter. Goiter means thyroid gland will be enlarged and that comes out, that is known as goiter. So iodine is also required in less amount, but they required, if their concentration is low from that less amount, then deficiency will be occur, and the disease that caused by the iodine, that is known as goiter. Function, participation in thyroid gland synthesis of thyroxine, requirements 150 mcg per day, and deficiency state. If deficiency will occur, then this is known as goiter, usually a lack of iodine that causes cretinism, hypothyroid of childhood. Hyperthyroidism, and food source are iodized table salt, seafoods, depends on soil content. Major amount of iodine that contain are iodized table salt. These are the diagram where this is the thyroid cartilage. This is the normal size of the thyroid gland, right? And this size will be enlarged when there is deficiency in the iodine. If there is deficiency of the iodine, then this thyroid gland will be enlarged like this, right? And this will be shown by this from body. So this goiter will be cured by when you add iodine in your food. So iodine is an important mineral for the body. Next is zinc ion. The major function of zinc ion is in enzyme constituent, in immune system formation, protect RBC from damage. Zinc ion protect the RBC red blood cells from the damaging, and requirement, the concentration of the zinc ion that required per day are the 11 mg per day for male and 8 mg per day for female. Deficiency state, poor wound healing. If there is deficiency occur in this zinc ion, then there is poor wound healing. Impaired taste and smell. Iron inhibits absorption. And toxicity, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting and diarrhea, headache, irritability, lethargy, anemia and dizziness. These are the toxicity. Toxicity when the concentration of the zinc ion will be high. And food source that contain this zinc ion are the meat, seafood, legumes, whole grain. Selenium. The function of the selenium is as a antioxidant. They act as an antioxidant, and requirement and the concentration of the selenium that required for the body are the 55 mcg per day. And if deficiency occur, then they affect immune system. And toxicity symptom, brittle hair and nails. Food source, seafood, organs like kidney, liver, depends on soil content where plants are grown. If plants are grown on a soil that contain lots of selenium, then that plant, when you use that plant, then you already get the selenium mineral. Other trace elements like fluoride. Fluoride, the main function of fluoride is preventing dental caries. Exceeding UL may cause fluorosis. Copper, iron twin work the same way. Manganese, inhalation toxicity, and manganese also act as a cofactor during the process of transcription. They act as a cofactor, right? Next is chromium. They act as glucose tolerance factor. Molybdenum, inadequate dietary intake, improbable. Other essential trace elements are the aluminium, arsenic, boron, nickel, silicon, tin, vanadium. These are the other essential trace elements. Means they require, but in less amount, right? Now mineral supplementation. Life cycle need these minerals as a supplement when during the pregnancy and lactation period, adolescence, adulthood. In this life cycle, this mineral required much and more. This mineral required. If there is deficiency in this mineral occur, then there occur some types of deficiency or disease in this period, right? So in this period, the deficiency of this mineral will be not. You must take this mineral as per concentration. Clinical need: iron deficiency, anemia, zinc deficiency. Human system will be weak. If there is deficiency in zinc, then immune system are weakened, and their deficiency in iron, then anemia will be occur. So summary will be: mineral are single inorganic elements that are classified according to their relative amounts in the body. Major minerals make up 60% to 80% of all inorganic material in the body, and trace element make up less than 1%. Trace element make up less than 1% of the body inorganic material. So from name it's clear, trace element required in less concentration, whereas major element required in more concentration. So overall, minerals are very important for our body because they function as a cofactor. They help in several metabolic reaction in our body. They act as information of bones, tooth, and they also help in blood clotting. So these are several functions of the minerals which occur in our body. Without the presence of these minerals, that function or metabolic reaction will be not present. They also help in cell signaling, right? They also help in cell signaling, nerve contraction, heart information of heart muscles. So this all mineral required. So you have to take mineral in your diet, in daily diet, so that we cure from this deficiency. So this all about the mineral, how the mineral will work, and what are the metabolic reaction will take place, and which mineral are trace elements minerals, and which are the major minerals, and at what concentration we decided or classify the trace and major mineral. So this all about the mineral. Hope you understand these mineral concepts. Okay, so today we stop here. Thank you.